Alright, so I just got back home from my therapist appointment. I would say the first official appointment where I have actually spoken to this particular therapist about my depression. Now, he is not the first therapist I've ever been to. This is actually my fourth therapist in the past, I don't know, 13, 14 years. And I haven't been going consistently. I, go on and off. He's probably the longest I've been going to somebody too. I've been seeing him since last April or May. So it's February now, so it'll be a year and a few months. And I plan on going to him because he's a really great therapist. But I decided today that I was going to bring up the depression conversation with him. Yeah, almost for the first time. I mentioned it, but we talk about other stuff. Yes. And so I went in today and actively went in talking to him about depression. And I just left the appointment, and I don't know, when I walked out of the building, I felt like I wanted to cry, but nothing was happening. And I've never cried after any appointment with him. I've never cried after any appointment with any other therapist. I've never cried. But when I got into the car, the tears just started coming, which is why my eyes are red. And I have this tissue just in case I start again. Because he was talking to me about, he took out the diagnostic manual for depression, for psychology. So DSM-IV, I guess is what it's called. I think that's what it's called. He read through all the symptoms of depression. And I have pretty much all of them suckers. But the last part says something about, basically you have to rule out whether there are medical issues that could be causing it and mirroring depression. So he brought up the fact that I have adrenal fatigue, which I had shared with him when I first started early on in our sessions. And pretty much he said that my adrenal fatigue, he doesn't know that much about adrenal fatigue, but he does know that my adrenal fatigue could be mirroring depression symptoms or vice versa. The depression could be causing the adrenal fatigue could be causing the depression. He doesn't know a lot about adrenal fatigue, but it was the first time, two things. It was the first time anybody had ever questioned whether I actually had depression. Because like I said, I've been seeing 4 therapists. I've spoken to at least 2 psychiatrists, medical doctors that I can recollect, and nobody ever even challenged whether I actually had real depression. So the irony of me trying to start a YouTube series on depression and the next day having somebody challenge whether I actually have depression is not lost on me. But the thing that the other thing that he said, number 2, was just the validation of it. That, almost like he believed me. I don't know. And I think I say that because I've spent the last 15 years of my life pretty much having people not believe me or not validate what I'm telling them is going on in my body and my mind. And to have this guy sit there and say he totally knows what adrenal fatigue is, and he doesn't have a lot of experience with it, but he's heard of it, he's read up on it, and he knows that it can have biological factors that have exactly the same things that I'm describing. And for it to be valid was such a big deal. It was such a big deal. And I think that's one of the reasons why I want to do this video series, even though, honestly, I'm really scared, and I don't even know if I'm going to put this video up on YouTube, but, because I know for me, hopefully somebody else will see me and it will help them know that what they're going through is valid. Because that's one of the biggest struggles, and that's one of the things he kept saying to me over and over. He was like, if you have adrenal fatigue, it is a biological disorder and not a moral failing. Meaning, the judgment and the self-condemnation and all these things that go on in your head aren't what I should be doing, because I'm not failing morally, I'm not failing, something's not wrong with me. I have a biological disorder. And then he was like, and if the depression came first, depression has a biological component to it. And so it's still not a moral failing, you know. And I was like, you're going to have to drill that one home with me, because I'm 34 right now. And this started when I was 17, I think, or 18. So it's been half my life of that thought process in the background, you know. And I'm telling you guys, if I put this video up on YouTube, this is a big deal, okay? Because what I've learned is nobody believes you. Nobody, you know, I stopped telling people the severity of what I'm feeling psychologically. I'll tell them what I'm feeling physically, but I won't share with them what I'm feeling psychologically, because I learned that people don't know what to do. My other camera was full, and since it's a new camera, I didn't know, it stopped recording. So let me wrap up this video. So what I was saying was, I stopped sharing it with people because I know that I learned over time that people don't know what to do, or they invalidate what you're feeling and they brush it off. You know, they say stuff like, oh, well, I'm depressed all the time too, so, you know, just shake it off. And they don't understand, you know, that's like telling a person with cancer that you've had a toothache before, so you understand what they're going through. Just shake it off, you know. And I don't share it with people. And so one of the most meaningful things that he said to me at the end when I was leaving was, he was like, thank you. And I was like, thank you for what? You know. And he said, thank you for trusting him with my story. And that was big, because like I can honestly say that I don't think I have honestly shared my true, real thoughts and feelings with anyone and had them validated like that. You know, I might get an attempt to validate it, but they don't, you know, but well, that people are human, you know, so, you know, whatever. But it was just very nice. And when I left, I burst out crying. And so, yeah, what I said on the last, when I was shooting the last video, was what I should be crying about is this big old zit right here. Yeah. I mean, I'm depressed, but that doesn't mean I can't be fabulous. I've been sick all week, and I'm trying to get myself back into the swing of being fabulous, and that nasty thing showed up yesterday. But anyway, so yeah, I guess this might be video number 2 in my depression series. It may not be, honestly. I don't know if I'm gonna put this up. He is very, very supportive of me blogging and vlogging about this. Although I think it's ironic that he just finished telling me I might not have depression. I might just have adrenal fatigue that's been masking or mirroring depression for the past 17 years. And I'm trying to start a depression series on YouTube. Don't he know I'm trying to start a depression? Anyway, I'm gone. Bye, you guys.